Namaste, hello, and welcome to the Indian Abroad on NDTV. I'm Priyanka Deo. Today, we're talking about oil, power, and pressure because India is being targeted again, and this time it's not just criticism, it's threats, sanctions, and tariffs. On August 4th, India's Ministry of External Affairs issued a strong and unapologetic statement, firing back at the United States and the European Union for what it rightly called unjustified and unreasonable attacks on India's oil imports from Russia. Now, let's be clear here. India is not violating any rules. India is protecting its own people. When the Ukraine war disrupted global supply chains, Europe diverted traditional oil shipments to itself. And the US, I repeat, the US encouraged India at that time to buy Russian oil to help stabilize global markets. That's a fact. Even US Ambassador Eric Garcetti admitted in May 2024 that India bought Russian oil because the US needed someone to buy it and confirmed there was no price cap violation. Now that India continues to buy what it needs, suddenly it's a problem? Here's what the West doesn't want you to notice. In 2024, the EU traded 67.5 billion euros in goods with Russia and imported a record 16.5 million tons of LNG. The US still imports Russian uranium, palladium, fertilizers, and chemicals for industries ranging from nuclear to electric vehicles. And yet, it's India that keeps getting singled out, even though our trade volume with Russia is significantly lower. The Ministry of External Affairs made it clear India's imports are a strategic necessity, not a political statement. We have over 1.4 billion people to serve. Energy affordability isn't optional, it's essential. Now let's talk about the lie being pushed around refined Russian oil. President Donald Trump recently accused India of buying Russian oil, refining it, and selling it in global markets for profit, and claiming that India is profiting from war and promising to raise tariffs on Indian products. But here's the truth. Once oil is refined in India, it is no longer legally considered Russian. This is based on EU Council Regulation 833/2014, which follows the principle of rules of origin. And this is a core concept in international trade. When raw materials are substantially transformed, like crude oil being refined into petrol, diesel, or jet fuel, the final product is reclassified based on where it was processed. In short, Indian refineries turn it into an Indian product. And this isn't a loophole, it's a legal trade standard. Even the EU accepts this logic, and India has every right to sell it. Dr. Jaishankar defended this stance in 2023, reminding the world that you cannot create a rule and then object when others follow it. In July of 2025, India's refinery in Gujarat was sanctioned by the EU simply because Russian company Rosneft owns 49% of it. Now, Microsoft, a US firm, then suspended services to the refinery, cutting off access to proprietary data without any legal compulsion. Only after a Delhi High Court case did Microsoft restore its access, and this is how Western pressure is applied, through corporations, not just through the government. So, where does all this go? What is the bottom line here, and what is Modi going to do? Well, one thing that we can expect rising tensions between India and the United States, especially if Trump continues trade talks the way he is. He's made it clear that tariffs are coming. So India, in turn, may retaliate here, imposing counter tariffs on American tech and agriculture, reducing dependence on US platforms as well as software, and strengthening energy and trade ties with Russia, Iran, and Southeast Asia, as well as calling out US immigration policy abuses by American companies operating in India. Now, this isn't about oil anymore. It's actually about trust, equality, and leverage. India has made it clear that it will not be bullied, and certainly not by a nation that continues doing exactly what it accuses India of doing just behind closed doors. The US is also understanding, as trade talks with India keep going, that this is about shaping a future grounded in trust, sovereignty, and strength on both sides, not just one. India is not a junior partner here, and the US is not a gatekeeper here. Together, if you look at the positive side of this, the two democracies are both strategically located and can reap multiple benefits off of each other. And in today's geopolitical world, that's the kind of alliance that matters. Thanks for watching The Indian Abroad. Like, subscribe, and comment below if you're online. Keep watching NDTV. I'm Priyanka Deo, signing off till next time. Namaste.